بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي من الليل وأنا معترضة بينه وبين القبلة كاعتراض الجنازة متفق عليه. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha narrated, she said that Nabi Akram used to recite Salah at night, and I was lying down horizontally between him and between the Qibla, like how the Janaza is placed in front of those who are reciting Salatul Janaza. The reason I gave the example of Janaza is to show that she was not out of the way in one corner, huddled or something. Rather, she was sleeping properly and straight out. You understand? So, therefore, they give the example of the Janaza. Right. So, this also shows that the woman being in front doesn't break the Salah. Right. وابن عباس رضي الله عنه قال أقبلت راكبا على أتان وأنا يومئذ قد ناهزت الاحتلام ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي بالناس بمنى إلى غير جدار فمررت بين يدي بعد الصف فنزلت وأرسلت الأتان ترتع ودخلت في الصف فلم ينكر ذلك علي أحد متفق عليه. Narrated from Ibn Abbas said, I came riding on a donkey and I was at that time close to Bulugh. I was almost Baligh. And Rasulullah was reciting Salah with the people in Mina to other than a wall. In other words, he wasn't reciting towards any sutra or anything. So I passed by in front as a part of the Saf. And I got down and I released the donkey to go graze. And I entered into the Saf and nobody rejected me upon that. Nobody. On. Right. So nobody rejected that from me. In other words, nobody found any fault in me doing this. Right. So what Ibn Abbas is saying here that passed by with a donkey and they didn't break the salah. Right. Why are you saying all this is because of that hadith? Taqta'u salat al-kalbu. You understand the hadith we did yesterday? That the woman and the donkey and the dog will break the salah. And then we give the explanation there. It means bringing about a khalal, a deficiency in the concentration in salah. That's what it will do, right? And then he himself, he passed by in front of part of the saf now in this case, but because he was not yet baligh, nobody found a problem with that, right? When Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam idha salla ahadukum falyaj'al تلقاء وجهه شيئا فإن لم يجد فلينصب عصاه فإن لم يكن معه عصا فليخطط خطا ثم لا يضره ما مر أمامه رواه أبو داود وابن ماجه. Narif Abu Hurairah says, the Nabi Akram says, when one of you recites Salah, then he should place in front of his face something. Then if he doesn't find, then he should erect his asa. Then if there's no asa, no stick with him, then he should draw a line. Then whoever passes by in front of him will not harm him. Narib Abu Dawud and Ibn Majah. All right. So here now we find that if you don't have a sutra, something to put in front, then you can even use your asa. And if your asa, the earth is soft, you can plant your asa in there. You can burrow or dig it in there, right? Then this hadith here, it explains here that if you cannot burrow it, right, in there, then you can just put it lengthwise, the asa, right? You're not saying that here. But then they say if that is not possible, then you just draw a line, and then anybody, right? Who then whoever goes beyond that day doesn't harm him, right? Now, in the fiqh kitabs, it's mentioned here that if a person now, he just puts his asa down, you understand? Because he couldn't put it into the earth. So he puts it down. Then some ulama say that will suffice as a sutra. And some say it will not suffice. Right? Right. Then I have here now, uh, if you do not have a sutra and you just draw the line, right? Then according to Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi is qawli qadim, and Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayhi, and even after some of the Hanafi scholars also, they say that this will suffice as a sutra, just drawing a line, right? However, most of the Hanafi scholars, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, they, and Imam Shafi rahmatullah is qawli jadid, that this is not sufficient as a sutra, drawing the line, right? Because a sutra is something that can be distinguished. You understand it? And it can't be, so if you draw the line, it cannot be seen from far. You understand? And therefore, it will not serve the purpose of a sutra. Imam Sheikh Ibn Humam rahmatullah says that instead of drawing a line, to put the sutra up, that is more better, and that is more closer to that is following the sunnah. Because when you put the sutra up, then the people can see the sutra, and it will also take away any doubts and lapse of concentration in your salah, because you've got your sutra standing up there and the people can see the sutra. Right. Nevertheless, those that say you can draw a line and it will suffice as a sutra, what line do you draw? So some of them say you draw the line in the shape of a crescent. So it's like a moon, like this, like the moon. And some say you draw the line lengthwise, and some say you draw the line breadthwise. And they say the chosen one amongst them is lengthwise, you draw the line. All right. وعن سهل بن أبي حثمة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا صلى أحدكم إلى سورة فليدن منها لا يقطع الشيطان عليه صلاته رواه أبو داود. And Imam Sahal ibn Abi Hasmat said, Nabi Akram says, when one of you recites towards a sutra, then he should go close to it so that shaitan doesn't cut his salah, right? So what it means, you go close to it, it doesn't be so close to it that you make your sajda right near to it, right by it, right? And then by doing that, shaitan will not be able to cause him to have a lapse of concentration, because if the sutra is far from him, from where he's making sajda, then it's possible somebody will pass by. And when somebody pass by, then that's what causes the lapse of concentration in salah. All right. وعن المقداد بن أسود رضي الله عنه قال ما رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي لا عود ولا عمود ولا شجرة إلا جعله على حاجب الأيمن أو الأيسر ولا يسمد له صمدا رواه أبو داود. Miqdad ibn Aswad said, I did not see Rasul reciting salah to any stick, and no any pala, and no any tree, except he will place it on his right eyebrow, in line with his right eyebrow, or his left eyebrow, and he won't face it directly. So your sutra must stand a little bit to your right or a little bit to your left. You understand it? Don't face it, don't put it smack in the middle when you are putting your sutra there. And the reason for this is that it mustn't look like you are worshipping the sutra. You got that now? That time when we were going from was it P to Cape Town or Cape Town to P? There in Wilderness in that beachfront, we all ate salah there on the sand, and there were lots of people around. So Haji Bhai Pai Padia Rahmatullah alayhi, he said, don't put a sutra. The people think you're worshipping that. You understand? It was in the open. وعن فضل بن عباس رضي الله عنه قال أتانا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ونحن في بادية لنا ومعه عباس فصلى في صحراء ليس بين يديه ستة وحمارة لنا وكلبة تعبثان بين يديه فما بال بذلك. رواه أبو داود النسائي نحوه. Then for Fadl ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said that Rasulullah came to us whilst we were in the desert or in the jungle of ours, and with him was Abbas radiallahu anhu, and then he recited Salah in the open, right? And there was not between him, there was no sutra in front of him, and a donkey of ours and a dog of ours are playing in front of him, and it didn't concern him. He had no problem with that, right? The Arabs, they used to do this, yeah, that for some days they used to go out and stay in the tents. They would stay in the tents out in the jungle or in the desert, right? And each one had their own space or place they would go to. So this is now when they were there, then Nabi Akram came to visit them. So from here you understand also that putting a sutra in front of you is mustahab, and it is not wajib. It's not faraz. Leave it alone.